Hello, third graders. Happy Friday. Well, as you can see, I'm very ready for baseball season. Yesterday was supposed to be opening day for Major League Baseball, and it was really sad there was no game to watch. And I know several of you are missing your teams as well. So as we begin our next adventure into grammar skills, we're going to do a little bit of wishful thinking. We've so far been talking about prepositions, prepositional phrases, and apostrophes and contractions, and in possessive nouns. Good job on everything you've been working on so far. Today, in the next couple of days, we are going to hit another grammar skill that is a little bit more tricky than some of the others. It has so many different parts and so many different rules. We are going to begin talking about commas. So let's get started. We use commas in so many places in our writing. In second grade, you learned a lot about using commas in letter writing. So far in third grade, we've talked about using commas when we are writing dialogue, and you'll be reviewing a little bit of that today. And then today we're going to focus on using commas when we write the date or a list or series of items in a sentence. And then next week we will look at the fifth part of commas, using them in compound sentences. So let's look at today, dates and lists or series. First off, I want us to look at a couple of things I've seen some third graders doing when they write a date. First of all, I'm seeing some of us write the date with just the year. Well, yes, it is 2020, but when you're trying to date something, just putting the year is not specific to what date you actually did a project or wrote a piece or had a special moment in your life. We always want to be specific with the exact date, which includes the month, the day of the month, and the year. So 2020 would not be the correct way to write the date. Another way I've seen some people writing the date is just including the month, so 3 for March, and the year 2020. You're getting a little bit more specific when you do this, but again, you could go back and look at the month of March. March has 31 days. So this isn't quite specific enough when we are writing the date. So what we want to do when we write the date is we want to include the month we're talking about, the day of the month, and the year. This should be our date. Now, there are ways that we can write this using numbers. You guys do a really good job with using numbers and digits to write your date. Today, I want to talk about writing the date the correct way, using the words and the digit to make the day and year, and where we would put a comma when we do that. So if I write my date this way with the month, the day, the year, let's say today is March 26th, 2020. Where would my comma go? We're not going to put the comma between the month and the day, because look what would be left over. A really long number that really has nothing to do with any kind or any type of date. So we use a comma in a date to separate the day and the year, which are both numbers, so that it doesn't look like a really, really long number that doesn't even make sense. Now I want to add one more piece to that. What if I had a day of the week added to this? So for example, today is Thursday, March 26, 2020. We would add in another comma there. So let's write this out a little bit more clearly. Thursday, and I'm just going to abbreviate for now. Thursday, March 26th, 2020. Well, we already know that one comma is going to separate the two numbers so that it doesn't look like a really long number. Where would my second comma go if I add in the day of the week? You're right, it would separate the two words. Thursday, March 26th, 2020. That would be the correct way to write the date using commas. And our second skill today is looking at using commas when we have a list or series of items in a sentence. Hey, you notice I've got an apostrophe for a possessive noun because it owns the team colors. Okay, moving on. Look at my sentence. The Texas Rangers team colors are red, white, and blue. Can you tell me what words in my sentence might be included in a list or series? Yes, red, white, and blue. I have a list of colors that I am including in my sentence. So I would separate those 3 words in my list using commas, starting after the first word in the list. The Texas Rangers team colors are red, white, and blue. And I don't need another comma after that. So this is using commas when we are using a list or series of words inside our sentence. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today. Nice and simple for our Friday. I'll look forward to seeing you during our Zoom call this afternoon. And in the meantime, you're going to go to Seesaw and look for an activity. Each page in the activity is going to have 2 parts where you are looking at dates, and then the bottom part where you are practicing with dialogue or list in a series. You've got to figure out which. You're going to add commas where they are needed. And then you're going to have a great weekend. Bye, guys.